quiet seaside town, an evil laid to rest centuries ago, has risen. An abandoned fortress deep in the swamp holds a secret that could save the village or destroy it. Now, a band of adventurers sets out to dig up the wounds of the past and bring the light of day to the roots of ruin. This is Tabletop Gold.
Hello, friends, and welcome to Tabletop Gold, episode 120. It's October something, and you know what that means. It means my name is Lars Casteen, and it's pumpkin spice time, everybody. Let's meet all the other pumpkin spicers on this call right now. Pumpkin Spicer, of course, Sean Spicer's second brother. I worked with Sean Spicer's first brother for a while when I worked at Turner Broadcasting. Don't worry about it. Robin Lange is here.
Patty Pan Spicer?
That's right. That's right.
Pumpkin spice season. Good that time.
Hi. David Chernicoff, the Tin Man, is here as well.
Good that time. It's a shame we'll have to put off pumpkin spice season in order to hear more about your dealings with the Spicer family.
With Sean Spicer's brother. His brother, really nice, really handsome, really talented at selling advertisements. Like he's
just like Sean Spicer.
Just like Sean Spicer, yeah. We also have Zoe Chernicoff on the call today.
Good spice time.
Good spice time to you. And Matt Humphreys is also here.
Good that time. The spice must flow.
The spice must flow.
If people didn't know better, they wouldn't know that they're coming into a tabletop role-playing game.
That's true.
Podcast.
I think it's worth mentioning that we will be playing a tabletop role-playing game. It will be awesome. We will have a great time. But before that great time, it is spice time. We have been collecting on our Discord server recommendations from our community for pumpkin spice products that they have spotted either in the wild or in the form of advertisements over the spice season. I guess this is something that's becoming an annual tradition for us, where we are going to go through the list of a lot of these things that our community on Discord very lovingly recommended. Some of them are terrible and disgusting. Some of them are not. We're going to figure out which is which today as we go through each of these things and decide whether we are pumpkin in or pump out.
Do we have the images anywhere? I can't seem to find the chat that it used to be in.
Yes, I made the channel private to stop people from submitting anything else. I'm going to be pasting these images into our group chat. So just keep an eye on that if you would like to.
On r/steak.
Yeah, r/steak.
Oh, I'm getting
I'm
hungry
going to be
already.
posting each of these to r/steak and have them all get spiked by the mods.
Gonna get really mad and confused.
Is one of them a pumpkin spice porterhouse?
You'll have to wait to find out. Are we ready to go?
We're ready.
Let's do
We're ready.
this
The
thing.
most ready
On
we've ever
pump
been.
in or pump out 2023.
I'm looking forward to the monstrosities.
Okay, here we go. We're going to start simple. This is an item sent in by Gritty Mike. Hostess brand pumpkin spice Twinkies, limited edition. I'd like to draw your attention to the pallor, is maybe the word I want to use, of the filling.
Yeah, it looks
so
chunky.
disgusting.
It looks like putty.
It's a
Cottage
Twinkie
cheese?
with what looks like putty, maybe cottage cheese. It's got some
Not
lumps
a
to
white
it.
color, though. Yeah, like a sort of pinky gray.
A
This
pinky,
looks
pumpkin-y gray.
exactly what a parody of this would look like. It's the color and the consistency and the sort of overall like kitschiness of the packaging. It just looks like if you were like make a parody of a pumpkin spice Twinkie, this is what you'd end up with.
I feel they missed an opportunity to put the Twinkie in a Halloween costume? They've just got him in his normal cowboy getup.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
They could not be bothered to put Twinkie the Kid in festive seasonal wear. I will say, speaking of this looks like a parody, I did bounce a couple things that I found out later were fake. So there's a chance some of these might be fake. I've tried my best to confirm the realness of these. And by my best, I mean I put like a little bit of effort into it. So if I
This seems real.
I think this is real. I
In
think
a
this is
world
real.
of AI, how do we know anything's real?
Exactly.
Oh.
Let's go around the horn and see how everybody feels. Robin, pumped in or pumped out pumpkin spice Twinkies?
Pumpkin in the sense that I would be willing to try this.
I think that's the sense that we're looking for. So that's good. David, how about you?
Pumped out.
Okay. Not terribly surprising. Zoe.
Pumped in the abstract, pumped out in the particulars. That filling
I
is
wouldn't
gross.
buy the box if someone offered it to me, right?
Yeah.
Is that where you're, Zoe?
Yeah,
If someone offered you
yeah.
one, you'd try it.
Yeah.
I'd watch you try it and ask you how it was.
Armet, how are you feeling on this?
Yeah, pumpkin on the same terms. I'd try one if I hadn't purchased it.
I'm going to be the most pumpkin of them all then. I think this
Oh.
looks good. I would eat this. I bet you it's
Alright.
awesome. I bet you it tastes really good. I bet you it's delicious. Twinkies are always like, in my mind, surprisingly good. Like I always enjoy a
Yeah.
Twinkie
Fair.
more than I think I'm going to.
Oh, for sure. My issue is not with the Twinkie part.
Yeah, well, I don't
No, I
love,
understand-
I haven't had a
I
Twinkie in a long
understand.
time. I feel like I don't love Twinkies.
Well, will you love this next option? This one came in from Vulcan Destrorka, also known as Vulcan Destroya. This is Colonel Seasonings brand pumpkin spice popcorn seasoning. Robin, pumpkin or pumpkin out?
Pumpkin out, but I want to get it for my father-in-law who always brings his own salt to movies. For his
Salt?
popcorn.
Curious.
Wow, love that.
That's the kind of thing that I'm looking forward to turning 40, because once you're past 40, you can do stuff like that. You don't have to hold back anymore. You just be like, now I'm a person who has a preferred type of salt and I carry it with me always. Under 40, it's like, that's weird. Over 40, it's like, oh yeah, he's got a salt thing. I am pumped out on the pumpkin spice popcorn seasoning. Thank you.
Okay. David, 0 for 2. Zoe, how are you doing on this?
I'm pumped out on this because you got no better popcorn than just a butter and salt situation. I don't want
Yeah.
this instead.
Yeah.
Armat, how about you?
Same. Pumpkin spice is not one I would want on my popcorn.
Same with me. I don't want this. I want butter and salt. Absolutely. So,
Maybe a little bit of paprika.
0 for 5. Pumped out on the pumpkin spice popcorn seasoning. Here we go. Next up from Verts, from Wertz.
Oh,
This is Cup Noodles brand pumpkin spice flavor with other natural flavors, ramen noodles in sauce.
Oh no! Here they really went for it with the
How is
packaging.
this real?
They like added some leaves. Like they did the exact
Yes.
opposite of Twinkie in the marketing approach. They were like, we're gonna
Absolutely.
make this
Ooh.
special.
Completely agree.
And I know it's real because it's out of stock at Walmart.
I know it's real because I bought all of it. Robin, are you pumpkin or pumpkin out on Cup Noodles
Pump.
pumpkin ramen?
Pump the F out.
Yeah. David, how about you?
I'm pumped out. The dollop of, I guess it's supposed to be whipped cream to go with the pumpkin, but it reads as sour cream because it's a savory item.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm more troubled than usual. I'm the same amount of fully troubled as always. But this is not appetizing to look at.
I got to tell you, I don't know that that's whipped cream or sour cream because if I were to get a pumpkin soup, I would expect a sour cream or a creme fraiche involved there.
Oh, is it a spooky ghost? The
It might be a
resolution's pretty
spooky.
low.
It might be a spooky ghost. That's true.
Okay.
Zoe, is this a spooky ghost for you?
I'm
Or are
gonna
you pumpkin?
shock everyone. Pumpkin would try. I don't know that I'd like it, but I would give it a try. I'm curious.
Zoe, curious about the pumpkin spice ramen.
I'd just like to say for the record that does not surprise me.
Armet.
I thought when I first heard about this, I was totally pumped out and horrified by it. And now I think I'm with Zoe. I would try this. I don't know that I'd enjoy it, but I would try it. And if that's the standard, I'm pumpkin.
I don't know how it happened, but I'm pumpkin also. The conversation turned me around on it. I don't know. Yeah, I'd like to try this out. I think here's what it was for me. is saying the phrase pumpkin soup. I was like, oh, I've had like squash
Yeah.
soups before. This
Yeah.
could be good.
totally.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's 100% real pumpkin in there.
Yeah, looks good.
Okay, we're getting into our final 2 items this year. Both of these coming in from DM7700. Here is the first of these final 2 items. You're going to see 2 items in this image. It's not the top item. It's only the bottom item. Okay?
Okay.
This is pumpkin spice caviar, but it's pumpkin spice avocado oil caviar.
What?
This is Chosen brand pumpkin spice avocado oil caviar.
What is
They're
the
little
skin?
pellets of I don't know. But it's little pellets of avocado oil flavored like pumpkin spice to then take on the form of caviar.
Vegan
So
caviar.
it's-
Oh, IKEA makes something kind of like in the IKEA food market. You can get a vegan caviar, like a vegan roe thing that's made from seaweed.
This is that.
Does
but
it taste
imagine that the
fishy or
vegan
salty
fish-
at all? I'm so
Salty,
confused.
It's
mainly
it's
salty.
we don't have a lot to go on. There's not a lot of prior experience that you can draw on in making this judgment, which for me I think only enhances the pumpkin pump out experience. But
Yeah.
Robin Lange, are you pump in or pump out on Chosen brand pumpkin spice avocado oil caviar?
Out of sheer curiosity and the fact that it's vegan, yeah, I'd try it. I'm pumpkin.
David, is this going to be the thing that breaks your pumpkin spice perfect record? Your gold star pumpkin spice standard?
No. No. Everything I think about this is a buzzkill, so I'm just gonna leave it at no.
All right. Zoe, how about you?
I'm pumped out. And at the end of this round, I want to share the one online review of this product. It's short that I was able to find. I
I'm
don't
excited
want
for
any
that.
part of this.
Armat, how about you?
Again, now that the standard is just like, try this thing, I'm pumpkin. I would try this thing. I think I would probably not like it, but I would try it.
This is an item that for me prompts no emotional reaction whatsoever. Like
Oh, interesting. That's the exact opposite for me.
okay. I'm just like, if somebody were like, would you like vegan caviar? I would say no, not really. And then if they said, but it tastes like pumpkin spice, I would be like, that wasn't the difference maker that I was looking at. That's
Yeah, right.
that's not the tipping. That's not the issue. The issue that I have with my lack of interest in vegan caviar is not the absence of pumpkin spice. So, Zoe, what did you find in this review?
All right. This is on chosenfoods.com.
Mhm.
I won't give the person's name just in case they don't want it to be broadcast on a tabletop role-playing game podcast. That's
Sure.
not what they signed up for. 1-star review. I know that's going to surprise everyone. The overall experience was extremely disappointing, as I was excited to try the product. Regrettably, the clove scent and taste are beyond overpowering, and the product is inedible. I would not recommend to
Oh
anyone.
gosh. Okay. Yikes.
Wow.
I think I'm pumped out now.
I feel like what we're doing is reproducing some sort of like psych research right now, where like obviously this is inevitable, but it wasn't until like it was attached to a person saying
Right.
this is inevitable that now it seems credible that you wouldn't want to eat it. I don't know. It like it or if
Oh.
it didn't seem inedible to you before, why would an anonymous thing send? I told you I was a buzzkill. I'm never mind. Pretend I didn't say anything.
Okay, I am pumpkin to try it because I just watched. They have like a little advertisement video on the Chosen Foods website, and they put
I
it on
love
top
how
of
deep
like
we're delving on
pancakes and waffles and ice cream. That's like their suggested serving of this.
It goes in
That I would
places
try
where
that.
caviar wouldn't normally go. It's just a
Exactly.
pumpkin spice
A
thing.
little like, and because I like the sensation of like how the caviar bursts.
Right. That's fair. Well, you know what's not fair is our next and final item,
Whew.
again from DM 7700. This is awful.
I really wanted to buy this when I
I'm
saw
going
it.
to ruin the terms of our
no.
competition at this point. This is just awful. It makes me so mad.
But it's like a loop back to, I feel like, an earlier
Oh,
chat.
wow.
Sash.
Yeah, this is like several things are happening here at once.
This is Dude Wipes, Dumpkin Spice,
The picture?
scented with clove, nutmeg, and other fall SH star. 3-pack of extra large flushable toilet wipes.
If you told me that this was generated by an AI,
Yes.
that would mean that it was the sum total of all of the opening segments of this show we have ever had, all rolled into one.
Yes. It's annoying dude advertisements. It's pumpkin spice. It's dump puns. It's a bad time. Not that I don't want to sway your judgment. Robin, how interested are you in these Dude Wipes Dumpkin Spice?
I am
things?
definitely pumped out for the same reason. The poster of this commented, "Don't use flushable wipes." Anything that says just because it says flushable doesn't mean it is.
Yeah.
I do
You
not
can
use
call
this
flushable
is
anything
like
flushable.
yeah.
Yeah.
So on that alone, I'm out. But on then the idea of like rubbing cloves on my butt, no, thank you.
Right. Not even
Extra
once.
large? Like, this is for real shits, right?
Yes. Literally and metaphorically.
Like,
David, the Tin Man Chernicoff, is this what's going to get you interested in pumpkin spice?
No, pumpkin.
Okay. Zoe.
I want to share that there's also a little icon on the left-hand side of this thing, which is a toilet and then a jack-o'-lantern tilted going, like, as it's going into the toilet. And
Yes.
with that added descriptor, I am pumped out.
This dismayed to be flushed jack-o'-lantern.
Yeah, right. It's not, they're calling it flushable.
Yeah, these people think you can flush a whole pumpkin down a toilet. Don't trust them.
Have you ever tried? Doesn't work. Let me tell you.
Let me tell.
Not even the small ones.
I'm going to go so far as to say, like, if one was beginning a romantic relationship with someone, let's say
Go
it was
on.
me, and you walked into their bathroom, and by you, I mean me, found these on the toilet, it might be a deal breaker.
Yeah, I get it. I totes get
Anyway.
it. Armat, how about you?
Yeah, pump out.
Oh.
There's just like no use case where I could be like, well,
Right. If they were free and I was at somebody's house and they had them,
And it was an emergency.
I would leave their house.
there's
Yeah.
absolutely no way I would use this. If they only had this and had no actual toilet paper, that would be a relationship ended forever.
Right. You'd look for a bidet, and if it wasn't there, you'd leave.
Yeah.
Jump out the bathroom window, never to be heard from again by this friend.
Go to the kitchen and see if they have any whole cloves to use instead.
The
Well-
natural alternative.
We did it. We got through Pump
was-
In, Pump Out 2023.
Wow.
And that went long
fascinating.
enough that I'm going to bypass the rest of our intro to be hit in our next episode. So get ready for an extra special promotional segment next time. In the meantime, we got to get into it. It's game time.
Yeah, baby.
It's time to use the flushable wipe that is I don't know. Okay, here we go. You're currently recovering from another encounter with a Barbazu, a bearded devil with a nasty glaive and the ability to cut a wound that almost never heals. And perhaps you're starting to feel like a rat in a cage. 3 conspicuous barriers are blocking your path. First, a door emblazoned with a 15-foot diameter pentagram. Second, a recently created rubble blockade stopping anyone from going further downstairs in the wide circular room directly below the lighthouse of Gauntlet. And now, third, a shimmering orangey red wall of force stopping you from entering a mining elevator leading deeper below ground. For whatever reason these 3 barricades exist, one thing is perhaps becoming clearer to you. Your visit to the prison level of the Abomination vaults is not going to be simple, and your path will almost certainly take you through Euravian, the ancient devil that runs this place. It's episode 120. We're breaking off a new 5. We've got a new grip of hero point cards. Everybody's got a new set of hero points. Before we get into the game, I went a little overboard with the so-called rule of cool last time. And the group is currently in possession of 2 mind-controlled grothlets. We had a little bit of a conversation about this off mic, and the sort of getting things back on track compromise that we've agreed to is that second grothlet, the one that AO only has control over for the next hour, the group is going to be able to use that grothlet to give it one command. It's going to do one thing, and then it is going to regain control of itself. The other grothlet is still under AO's control for 24 hours. So we're picking up. We did some healing off mic. After about 60 minutes of that, you're ready to move on, but I don't have a sense of what if there was any conversation that happened along the way. So I'm going to let you guys pick up wherever you would like to along that 60 minutes, and then we'll resume this exploration however you would like.
So during this time, so Trill's gotten healed, and she's been kind of wandering around the whole room trying to see if there's anything hidden and investigating those bodies. But I think as we get more towards that hour mark, as AO's healed everyone, I think Trill's starting to go a little bit back towards that red light, out of curiosity.
The red light that you found with the, like that was a trap that you saw.
Yeah. So this is so we're now on like the devil level, right? Ooh, that rhymes nicely.
The devil.
The devlev?
You're on the
Devlev.
devlev. It's a straight up devlev situation.
I think it's an interesting level for Trill to start facing more devils since she's from Brasselwark,
Yeah.
which is the main gnome city in Galarian. But it has this kind. I think it's, from my understanding, and please on the Discord correct me, has this kind of city-state like privilege within Cheliax. Am I saying it right, Armat? Cheliax?
I think so.
I feel like you know the lore a lot more than I do, so that's why I like checking with you.
Armat is actually in a home game that I'm playing in. He's running an adventure that directly ties into Chelaxian stuff. So Armat may be your Chelaxian expert here more than I am.
Ask me about Abigail Thune the First.
Ooh, because I think between Trill and Vadim as well, they're both from areas in that realm essentially, and so in Cheliax, from my understanding, it's now it was taken up. There was a war, and it's all run now it's a devil kingdom essentially, right? Armat?
Yeah. They Abigail Thrune, excuse me. Jeez, wow. When her family took over the throne of Cheliax, the Thrune on the throne, they started Asmodeus worship, is my understanding.
Right.
And so it became instituted as the state religion in Cheliax. And that's why their security services, their order of knights are known as the Hell Knights, because they're all Asmodeus worshippers, lawful evil tyrants and stuff like that.
Knowing that Trill has had to travel through and spend time in a land of devil worshippers, I think she has a complicated relationship with devils.
Yeah, can I give you one little bit of lore, Robin, just to turn this into the lore cast for a second?
Yeah.
On the Pathfinder wiki, there's I think a pretty interesting comment about Brasselwark, saying that gnomes in Cheliax tend to live in the town of Brasselwark, and because they contribute innovations in architecture and engineering to the Chelish government, that community is essentially left alone because they are collaborators.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of thinking of it as a city-state. They just kind of get to do their own thing so long as they don't take up arms or try and fight the government outside of their city.
Yeah, and so long as they're useful, it sounds like.
Yeah, and gnomes are very innovative and useful. They're always, they don't want to get bored.
And on top of that,
That's literally death.
Trill also recently learned Infernal. So Trill is maybe,
Yes.
I wouldn't necessarily, maybe not at home here, but has a maybe more of a frame of reference than like maybe Mag does. Because Mag, small town girl living in Otari.
A lonely world.
Small town girl in a lonely world.
Yeah.
Took the midnight train going to Brasselwork. Don't stop.
But
Not
she's
yet.
never
One day
actually
she'll
been.
come.
So very
Right.
little excuse with experience with devils. Yeah, I would imagine Mag's exposure to devils has taken place. Listeners will have witnessed all of Mag's interactions with devils.
Very
It's pretty
carefully
safe
documented.
to say. Yes. Yeah.
It's actually
Yeah.
been the story of this whole series. We didn't know it until
Right.
now.
Yes. Tabletop Gold is an acronym that stands for every interaction Mag has had with
Wait.
devils in her life.
In a different language. Don't worry about it.
So confused. In Undercommon.
Yeah. I'm wondering if also, like, as these thoughts run through Trill's head, if anybody has any thoughts about the fact that this Barbazu, this bearded devil that you just encountered, had a squadron of grothlets, of flesh-warped creatures. Does that ring any alarm bells for anybody? Do any of your characters have any thoughts about that?
It actually didn't register to me, David, as odd because there have been grothlets around for the last while. You know, the idea that for the last couple of floors we found a bunch of them, and so now there's more down here. I don't know that it would strike Mag as out of step.
Right. Like you're just like, this is just part of what is down here in this dungeon. It's just
Right.
filled
There have
with
been
grothlets.
Morlocks all over the place, and there's been devils in a bunch of places, and there's just all kinds of bad stuff all mixed around in really unpleasant vegan caviar.
Yeah.
I think it would
in the dungeon.
strike Ao as strange, but she's not thinking about it too hard. Like, the Sugathi were such, mind creatures, and to her, devils seem relatively straightforward, right? Like, they literally operate on contracts. They do what they're told. It's like a very regimented system.
Yeah.
And so I think this is like, probably to the extent she's thought about it very hard, which again, I think is not much. It has just struck her as odd and like allowed her to do what I think is sort of a hypocritical thing of like taking this bracelet and commanding these things. She's been awfully bent up on people engaged in mind control, but I think like they just feel off, and it feels like the devils are sort of out of their lane, and so she figures better her than someone else. With the inconsistency that only teenagers can have.
Okay, so after about 60 minutes of exploring the area, the immediate area, healing up, you guys are ready to roll on. What would you like to do and I'm going to ask you this question, this is in a sort of awkward mechanical way. What's the one thing you want to do with this extra grothlet before it slips out of your control forever?
I think as, Ao's been bandaging Mag with gauze and bandaging herself a little bit, and as she sees Trill start to get down the hallway again, perhaps she's just finishing up Mag and knows the pouch is not at hand. She sort of snaps her fingers and she says, "You, Nathan, get down there, follow her, get in front of that light." And so the grothlet goes harumphing past. Have you guys ever seen Monsters University, the prequel to Monsters, Inc.?
I haven't, but I've watched Monsters, Inc. 3 times this week, so please.
Oh, good. Well, no, do Monsters University. It's good to mix it up. Anyways, there's a little slug. They're on a college campus that's basically UC Berkeley. But there's a little slug that shows up in a lot of these scenes doing this, like, fast run with its arms, but it's a slug.
It's
monster,
rushing
so
to
it goes
class
slow.
as fast as it can possibly go
But
before
it's-
the time runs out before
But
class.
it's a slug.
But it's a slug, so that
I
just
love
results
it.
in a lot of upper body movement.
Anyway,
and
so
very,
in my
very
mind, this
slow-
grothlet
Poor
is
buddy.
doing the slug arms.
I got to convince my kid to let me watch that movie. So, okay, so it sounds like you're going to have the grothlet. Just tell me in broad terms what you're having the grothlet do.
The grothlet is going down the hallway past Trill to go towards the light to sort of get there first, fend it off. I don't think Ao's thinking about this super hard, but she's just dispensing it to go stand in front of or in the light.
And the idea, okay, so you're going to have it trigger the trap, it sounds like.
Yeah, I picture
Correct.
Trill like leaning against the wall of that hall, heading back towards the red light, like playing some kind of spooky music on her lute as she like longingly stares at this light.
Okay. And as you guys are
Lady in
moving down
red.
towards that red light, that trap that you identified earlier, is anybody else doing anything in terms of exploration activities?
I think Istin would be searching and probably get really caught up in it and not pay attention to the fact that they're about to trigger an obvious trap.
Okay. Oh gosh.
Oh gosh is what you want to hear when a bunch of secret dice have been rolling.
Yeah.
So as you're moving down this hallway, you know, the Grothlet, Trill, Ao following behind, giving orders to this Grothlet. Istin notices a secret door on the way.
Oh, hey!
On the western side of this hallway, between the room where you were resting and that large circular room, the one that is below Gauntlet, the one with the blocked off staircase leading down, Istin spots a door right here on the western side of the wall as you move by.
Secret door! Secret door! I found a secret door!
Secret door? Secret door?
Yeah, it's right over here.
We consider keeping our voices down.
Oh, right. Sorry.
And Ao gets excited by the secret door and forgets to call off the Grothlet, who she has just sent to its doom, that now is not defending the light against anything because Trill's gotten.
Okay.
So Ao peels off to the side to look at the secret door, and the Grothlet just tromps.
Don't.
So we're gonna catch up with that Grothlet in a little bit, but I'm gonna tell you about this secret door, if I may. Please. There is a stone that Istin is able to push on above this outline of this door that he spots, and the stone rotates just a little bit and reveals a combination lock with these old metal cylinders on it.
Didn't we find a note or something about it?
So, like, numbers?
Exactly. Number.
How many numbers? How many digits?
8 digits.
Because, this is easy, and just put 6s across the board.
Seems like that's not the, unfortunately, the door does not open.
We don't have, I guess the last time we saw a contract was on like the 2nd level or something, so that probably would apply to here. I guess we got to keep looking for pieces of paper until we find one with numbers.
Does it seem like it's, pickable at all, or like she can hear little cogs?
Yeah, it's absolutely pickable. Ao gets the sense that she could use her thieves' tools. It would take a little bit of time. It's going to take 4 successful checks to open this lock.
Feels
And
like
of course,
we try.
on a critical failure, your thieves' tools will break.
That's fine. But Deem gave me those extra ones.
These are mere historically relevant thieves' tools owned by the great Otariel Vashti.
What does it
Let's
matter?
see what happens. Who cares? Let's see what happens.
Matt cares.
Could I help? Could I aid her in thievery?
How do you want to aid her in thievery?
Offering her an extra set of hands, like hold things and...
Yeah, what check do you want to make?
Thievery.
Oh, sure. Go ahead and give me a thievery check to aid from Trill.
That was only a 15.
Okay, so no harm, no foul. And what was Ao's thievery check?
Ao rolled a 30 on the first one.
Okay, great. That is 1 success. As we move forward, let's just get the thievery checks from Ao, and if it seems like it's on the bubble, we'll see if Trill's aid would help, just to limit the number of dice rolls.
28.
Okay, that's 2 successes.
Next one's a 22.
That one's a failure and is out of... Trill, regardless, is not able to help.
Okay. Ooh, next one's a 17.
Okay, that one also a failure. Trill is a non-factor here also. So 2 quick successes from Ao, and then suddenly the combination lock jams up a little bit. Let's see how things proceed from there.
You guys are crowding me. Back off, she says. And the next one is a 33.
Okay, let's get that aid check from Trill to see what happens there.
That's a 30 from Trill.
Okay, that's a critical success, which means that Ao's skill check becomes a critical success, which means chunk.
Ooh.
The lock
Hell yeah.
opens up perfectly.
Thanks, Trill. You were a help just once you took a step back. I just needed a little space.
No, totally get it.
I feel great about doing aids that way. I only want to do them that way, from now on.
How much time did that just save?
That saved a bunch of time, and I had to look at so many fewer numbers, so my brain is fresh. My brain is like a recently pumpkin spice wiped orifice.
I was gonna say vegan caviar, right? Are you just
It's just like
flavor.
vegan caviar. So that is enough. Ao feels the lock, and it's sort of the combination lock starts spinning, just slack, like the mechanism is completely disconnected. And a
As
moment
we've
later,
gone to that, has the groth light gotten closer to the red light?
yeah, well, I'll let you know in a second.
Okay.
I'm
I'm excited. I
Also
can't wait to
just-
see what happens.
want to say that Istin is so excited by Ao getting this lock open. He's holding his staff over his head and like the Tusken Raider in Star Wars, except he's like making the roar sound they make really quiet. Secret door.
So as Istin yells that, the door swings open, and you find yourselves once more looking into a small, circular chamber, this one covered with a thin layer of dust and cobwebs stretched across it. Runes filled with silver inlay have been carved into the walls, and you get the impression that you have found the 7th level below Gauntlet's teleportation circle. This, like the rest of them, is inert. At any point, if you'd like to go through the ritual to reactivate it, that is something that is a possibility. But just as your eyes run across these silvery runes filling this room, you hear from a distance to the south a sound. Whoop, 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 whoop. Just reverberating around the hallway. What do you do?
I picture all of our heads like turning 90 degrees the other way, like in a cartoon, like, what was that?
All
Like
perfectly
Scooby-Doo style.
synchronized. Yeah.
Very Scooby-Doo style.
Yes, Scooby-Doo.
As we're all like crowded around this one door looking into this closet, essentially.
I think Mag has an instinct. Mag doesn't want to get trapped in this elevator teleportation dome. But I think this has like given us the ability to see what happens around. Like Mag wants to try and see what is gonna happen, rush into this chamber now that this alarm has been tripped, whatever. But ideally be undetected herself. So maybe she doesn't like stay in the room, but she like crawl. You know, she not crawls. She slinks along the wall to just try to get an angle where she can see, but where she's unlikely to be seen herself.
Just so I understand, you're heading down to the trap that you spotted earlier.
If that's where
that's where the sound is coming from. Yeah, Mag is not hearing sound.
That's where we sent the Grothlet. The Grothlet sort of Frankenstein
Yes.
down there. So then, yeah, with some circumspection as she reaches each new room, she'd kind of like, stop at the corner, look around, see if anything is there, and then if not, go take up a position along the next corridor and like look around that corner and see if anything is there. So yeah.
What's everybody else doing? Are you also sort of following Mag's lead here to try to move unobtrusively down towards where you spotted this red light trap?
What's going on? Ao says.
Troll's very focused on wanting to like reactivate that elevator, but I think other things come first at the moment.
I guess we could always reactivate it and then run away that way if we need to.
Yeah.
Again, a critical failure on that ritual will teleport some sort of a creature into this room with you.
Sounds like so much fucking fun.
I have seen the list of monsters. I wouldn't be so sure. Okay, so Mag runs down and cranes her head around the corner. It sounds like the rest of you are going there also. So you're essentially at your side, the northern side of this hallway right in front of the large pentagram door that you saw before. You're able to, Mag pushes her head around the corner of the hallway and sees the Grothlet just sort of standing in the middle of this red light as it goes boop, 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 boop. And she sees a set of double doors to the south of that room open, and she sees 4 more flesh-warped creatures wearing strange military regalia burst out of that door. Weapons drawn. It's 2 Dreshkins, the Morlock with the spider legs and the electrical arc surging around them. and 2 Mulventox, that large, inflated, glassy exteriored creature with like exploding inner organs that you fought on the balcony of the 5th floor here. The one that you thawed out with the basilisk blood that then you had a quick encounter with.
These are flesh-warped Urdefons, right?
Exactly, flesh-warped Urdefons. And this door opens, and they burst into this room. Mag, looking just out of eyesight, about 40 feet away, and they scream like, "Ah, intruder! Intruder!" And which comes out as like, "Nyang nyang bonable, nyang nyang bonable."
Sounds more like exterminate, actually.
Yes, probably.
He doesn't get the reference, guys. He doesn't get the reference.
For those of you who watch certain television shows, that's a reference that maybe you know.
That's not on Wheel of Fortune.
It's
Can you name that with just one panel of a police box?
So these 4 creatures burst into the room, ready to fight, see the Grothlet standing there, and they're just like, "Ugh." And they shrug and like throw their hands up in the air, frustratedly. One of the Mulventox steps forward, shoves the Grothlet out of the light, so it's just sort of ambulating around the circular exterior of that room, just doing a lap around the red light, and they mutter something to each other, go back into that door to the south, and then close the 2 doors leading into the room where they presumably were waiting for that alarm to go off.
All right. I would say as a result of seeing that, Mag's like suspicions are raised because there have been a bunch of Grothlets around, and Grothlets they're not very bright. So it's not hard to imagine them kind of like there being extras of them and they're wandering around, and then a devil could find them and ensnare them, and they don't seem. But those creatures that just came out of that door are 2 more things that Jafaki sort of engineered and developed in their like long quest to make a super soldier, right? So now we've seen like 3 different editions of Jafaki generated things, but that are all acting in concert here in a place where Jafaki was not. Like now it seems like there's more cahoots, I guess.
Well,
it doesn't seem like a coincidence anymore or an incidental thing. It seems more by design. Yeah.
I think cahoots is the wrong word.
Yeah.
Because when we fought the devils on the previous floor, the devil that the Barbazu who was up there was saying that they were keeping an eye on the flesh warpers, that they were not working together. They were like observing them. It felt like
or keeping
like that
them
was an outpost to keep tabs on them.
It was, and keeping them confined to certain areas and out of others, maybe, or something like that. Yeah.
And I think Trill would look at this, and Trill's going to whisper, "It's to the devils. Do they have control of all the other flesh warped, or did you?" And I think Trill would be trying to figure this out. Or did Jafaki make them for the devils? Does this all go back to? Does this all go back to her and Nimbleoth? And does it just keep getting more and more complicated as a web the further down in this dungeon we go?
Certainly seems that way. This seems to be where the successes of the process end up.
So the previous things that we've encountered, you're saying those were the ones that didn't turn out as Jafaki wished, and these are more advanced in some way?
Well, maybe what I was thinking before isn't right. Maybe, who was Jafaki making the super soldier for? Was it for themselves, or were they hired to make it?
I said for Belcora.
And so are these... I mean, we know the devils all must be connected to Belcora. Otherwise, why would they be on this plane? They must all be contracted to be here. I mean, devils... If it's not a place that they own, they've got to be there under contract. I would think.
Trill starts running through contract law in her brain.
I have a headache.
And this probably checks out with what Trill's experience with devils is back in Brasselwork. Devils are places when they are paid to be there, when they have made agreements, when the hierarchy suggests that they should be there.
Perhaps they're in service to some larger plot of Belcora's. Or it's possible they've been left here and in her absence remain forced to carry out the terms of their contract, which would explain possibly why Jafaki was still making flesh warp for him.
Maybe the devils had their contract, so they're making all the flesh warpers stick to what they have to do. I mean, remember that guy? Remember the Zebub? I mean, he had a pretty horrific contract, and he was... Well, you wouldn't remember Iston, you weren't there. But our friend before you, he got a little hard line with this poor Zebub. I mean, that guy had to lick the floors to clean them. That was a pretty awful contract that he stuck to, even after Belcora died, because there was no end term to the contract.
It's not sanitary.
That sounds miserable. Ooh.
Yeah, he was a weird bro. He was a weird bro.
Trill turns around from this because she kind of feels like they got information from there, and she's going to start looking at other doors nearby. I think Trill's now trying to find office space, essentially. Where are records kept? Where are documents kept? I feels like there's some cozy British mystery to be solved in someone's desk.
And it was you, Dr. Jafaki, that flesh warped Mr. Body's aunt.
Also, you could win
With
the
Mr.
burning
Body.
competition.
Trill doesn't see a lot that screams office necessarily. As I mentioned before, the doors around here are these heavy stone and banded iron doors that are covered with infernal script. Trill has, you guys know that if you focus on your religious training, as you open the door, you can stop it from popping and alerting anything inside of it. But these are big stone prison doors. These are the doors that you have seen and maybe made note of. There's one set of double doors immediately to the north of where you are right now, on the right side of that pentagram carved into the gargantuan door that needs a 5-pointed amulet to get into. Down at the far eastern end of this wide hallway that you're standing in, on the other side of that circular chamber that is the one that Ao saw the flickering blue light dancing around on the floor of, there are some more double doors over there to the eastern end of this hallway. And that's, I think, about what you've seen. Maybe earlier you saw double doors on the southern end of a hallway extending from the circular chamber. But essentially, if Trill's looking around for where's the office, you don't see it. You just see a number of extremely important looking double doors covered with glowing infernal script.
This isn't quite the library floor where everything has a label on it.
Give me a
can you script read?
Can you
does
give
the
me?
infernal?
Go ahead, Armand.
Sorry, dude. Does the infernal script read push? Pull?
Yeah, they all seem like they are just like a infernal Burger King. You can open them in or out, however you'd like to.
I think that's a title potentially.
Robin, can you go ahead and give me a perception check, please?
Here's a question for you. Without having to
give me that perception check.
I would love to, but without having to open that whole new window for Trill's character sheet.
Sure.
Oh, never mind. It's under attributes. I see it.
Great. Okay, what did you get on that perception check?
Trill got a 25.
Okay. As Trill is looking around for labels, you see something that looks like some kind of writing at the far eastern side of this hallway. There's one lone single door, not a double door, here on the farthest east of the hallway. And there's something written above that door. But that's the only thing resembling a label that Trill sees around here.
Here's the question I want to put to everyone. Should we reactivate or activate the magical elevator before investigating anything new? It takes about an hour to do that.
I think we may be happy to have it.
And it can help us, like, pop our way out of here if we need to.
Exactly.
Totally. Yeah.
So Trill notices that then, but Trill makes that suggestion of,
there's a lot going on here. Let's make sure we have an exit strategy before we start investigating anything else.
Okay. So you head back around the corner to the north, towards that secret door that Istin just discovered, and you set about taking on the process of opening the teleportation portal.
While this is happening, I think Ao's playing a mysteriously little part. She's like, I messed up with that Grothlet. And so she's in the hallway just practicing with the other one. She's like, I gotta pay attention. So she's like having it march, stop, turn, come back.
Is it treat motivated? Just offering it little...
While she's doing that, Trill calls Istin over.
Istin, you come help me with this.
Oh, all right.
Okay, so here's the deal with rituals. We've gone over this once before, and we did not do it at that time. But essentially, a ritual takes a certain length of time, and we'll have a primary caster and secondary casters. I'm going to get checks from secondary casters before the primary caster does their thing. So in the case of the Awaken Portal ritual, secondary casters are going to try to pass the same DC that the primary caster does. So we need to figure out essentially who's the primary caster, what skill they're going to be checking, and whether any secondary casters are going to be supporting you. If a secondary caster critically succeeds on their support roll, you get a +2 circumstance bonus to the primary caster's check. If you do get a success, there's no bonus or penalty. If you get a failure, it's a -4 circumstance penalty. And as a critical failure by a secondary caster, you get a -4 penalty and also reduce the degree of success from the primary check by 1. So secondary casting in the case of this ritual is pretty complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I figured Trill would do this with an occultism check.
So the possible checks here are Arcana and Occultism. Secondary checks from secondary casters need to be the same skill that the primary caster is doing. So I don't know if Istin has a better Arcana than Trill does. I'm not quite sure the story there, but why
Trill's
don't you?
Arcana shit.
But you can also go Occultism. Sorry, I meant to say I don't know if Istin's Arcana is better than Trill's Occultism, but whichever one of you has the better of those two checks, that's probably who should be the lead caster. I'll let you guys sort that out.
What's your Arcana?
His Arcana is 16, and his Occultism is 13. So
hell. So Trill's Occultism's 14, but her Arcana's 2.
Got it.
Trill's a natural caster. Come on.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
So if Istin took the lead, it makes sense to leave him on his own.
Yeah,
well, if he did
maybe
Arcana at 16 and just do it, yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's the...
And I'm going to let you know. No, should I let you know the DC? I'm not going to let you know the DC. I think it's more fun if you don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I could kind of picture, so either we both do occultism or you lead with Arcana, or you do Arcana, and kind of, I could see in that case Trish saying, no, I got like, Istin's looking at us going, no, I got this.
All right, well, why doesn't Istin just try it, and we'll see how we do.
Yeah.
Go for
agreed.
it.
And if it doesn't work out, he gets teleported to,
No, something gets teleported here.
Oh, even better.
Yeah,
He gets
some
eaten
random
by it.
thing will appear in the room for us to smash.
So
Pissed off. Groff and
from
like,
Trill's end, I'm kind of envisioning like Istin coming in and excuse me while I speak for you, Armat.
oh, please
But
go right ahead.
Istin coming in and getting this moment of like getting to be like, you know, the leader, which he hasn't gotten to do much yet, and he's pulling out his staff and doing all this staff work, and Trill's just kind of standing there staring at his muscles and just letting him do it.
Maybe he's unconsciously flexing a little as he's.
Oh, I didn't know Arcana could look so delicious.
Yeah, and I guess like if an eye roll were if it were possible to represent that by retaping the haft of a two-handed hammer, that's what Mag would be doing.
I could just see Mag looking over and then like snorting a little through her nose in irritation.
Trill's just a sucker for hotties. Doesn't matter where they come from, who they are. Trill just likes the hotties.
Well, Trill's going to have a full hour to watch this hottie because it's going to take Istin an hour of focus and concentration to attempt to complete the Awaken Portal ritual based on the instructions that you found in Volek Azrane's desk. Or wherever it was. Don't quote me on that.
That sounds right. Oh no, it's Belcora's office, I think.
There you go, Belcora's office. But you know how to do the ritual. You know that it's going to take an hour of very carefully doing arcane maneuvers. Armat, tell me what that looks like and then make a check.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of Istin, like sort of basically doing figures, but using magical sigils. And so like writing in the air, like all these arcane sigils and going, no, not like that. But maybe, hey, yeah, now I'm onto something. And then like by the end of the hour, he has like at each of the cardinal directions, like a sigil inscribed with secondary supporting smaller, like glyph-like figures. And then he's going to try and use the incantation to speak and awaken the portal.
And as Istin reaches that point where he's doing the incantation, the silvery runes start to glow, and there's like a faint humming sound reverberating around the room as Istin is preparing to make all of these energies align. Let's get that Arcana check.
Here we go. 30.
Ooh.
30, you say?
Yeah.
That's a nice high number.
Oh no.
Istin feels that energy reverberate room and then just goes pop and blasts back in his face, and his hair gets blown straight up. And he is now stupefied 1
Oh, wow.
for 1 hour.
What?
Sorry, just kidding. For 24 hours.
What?
Oh shit.
At 30?
On a
How
30?
high? That was a 14 on the die. Good Lord.
Wait, is he more or less stupefied than Trill was watching his muscles?
A fair
while
comparison.
he's
I think flexing's all he's good for now.
A clarity returns to Trill's face as it leaves Istin's face.
So, we didn't activate it.
You did not activate it.
Fuck.
At least we didn't get like, I don't know.
A giant crab.
Yeah, exactly.
Those things fucking suck, Lars.
Yeah.
It seems to be very difficult to do, is what I'll say.
How did you hand wave us doing it on the first floor, 4
Well,
floors?
you were
then?
over leveled for those first 4 floors when you did it,
And
and also I didn't want to roll a bunch of dice. What are you gonna do? Take me to?
So each level's
GM
harder
court?
to do. Okay.
It seems as though each level is harder to do. The DC scales the deeper you get into the Abomination vaults.
I think
Oh,
Trill makes that
interesting.
observation rather than just everyone like writing off as she goes,
No, the energy in this one is different. This is more complicated. It's further down, trying to get through all of those levels of stone. This is, I don't know, maybe the devil's mess with this one. This one's hard.
Can you each give me a perception check, please?
Oh, all of us, not just.
Yes, please, everybody. Okay, how did everybody do on that? Starting with David and then moving on down.
It's a 16 for Mag, only a 5 on the die.
Trill got a 31.
Iston got a 12.
And a 24 for Ao.
Okay. Trill has the faintest sensation just as that wash of energy blasts over Iston that something has been watching you. And you hear a
Something's
faint
watching
sort of
us.
like
Oh no.
that recedes
Like a
into
kitty?
the distance as Trill notices it. What does Trill do?
Well, yeah, Trill hears that sound and she whispers to everyone around her.
There's a wisp somewhere nearby.
And as the four of you maybe brace your ears and listen for a second, you don't hear it. Whatever it is that was watching you is gone.
Did you say a mist was nearby?
No, a wisp. There's more wisps. Remember we fought. I fucking hate wisps. That's my thing.
Trist? No, we can't have Trist right now.
Oh my God, this is Stupefied 1?
Wait till he gets dumber.
She takes his own step, hits him over the head. Now he's stupefied too.
Right. Yeah. No. Understood. Misheard.
But yeah, it seems as though there's maybe an additional resident of this prison keeping tabs on you.
Can Trill do a wisp lore check to see if she can figure out what direction it's coming from?
Yeah, absolutely.
How about astrology? Will that help?
Yeah, go ahead. Give me astrology.
How could it hurt?
That's 26 for Trill.
And it's a 28 on the astrology.
Yeah, so that's not enough for either one of you. Here's my reasoning for why astrology lore is relevant. When you were on the first floor of this dungeon, looking at that stained glass window in that temple to Nimbleoth on the first floor, Ao's memory of Nimbleoth, her understanding of Nimbleoth, was that there was essentially a celestial being, like a planet, roving space that would eat things. Wisps seem to be deeply intertwined with Nimbleoth.
Oh,
So
okay,
any
okay.
knowledge that you have of astrology and of Nimbleoth as a celestial body moving through space, I'm going to say is kind of related to wisps. So I'm giving you like a harder
like that.
DC than the wisp lore DC is,
Fair.
but I found a use for astrology lore is what I'm trying to tell you.
I love it. I love it. I appreciate it. You do so much for us. We don't thank you enough.
Wait, would that be astrology or astronomy?
Oh, who knows the difference? They're both fake anyway.
Wait, no!
I believe it's astrogeny.
And it's clear Iston didn't get the portal open. What are you doing next?
I think Trill wants to go read that sign.
Okay, how does everybody else feel?
Mag's along for the ride. The glowing red things here, there's 3 of them, one of which is the trap. We've now investigated what happens, and don't want any part of that. And the others are what seems to be this sort of mine shaft at the top of the room where we fought the devil and his 6 minions, and the other is the pentagram door, which we obviously can't get at yet. So as long as we're tracking to one of those 2 things, Mag is going to join.
And this door that Trill is moving towards is on the far end of the hallway, as far as you can get in this hall from that pentagram door. The 4 of you move to the eastern end of this hall, and you see that this hall ends in 3 sets of doors. Double doors to the north and south, and then a single door to the east. Trill sidles up to that eastern door to get a sense of that label. And she sees that it's written in sketchy, almost childlike handwriting. It's a single phrase written in common, undercommon, and infernal.
Oh.
that reads, "Do not disturb if you value your limbs." Common, undercommon, infernal. And it is written immediately above that single door to the very east, which also has on it a small sliding grate at eye level. So not quite Trill's eye level, up above her.
Ayo's eye
eyes.
level.
At Ao's eye level. But it's the kind of door that has something that you can slide to look into it. And then above that, do not disturb if you value your limbs.
But you said that was written in like a childlike handwriting.
Yes, in 3 languages. So a polylingual child.
So is this like a kid who's like super mad at their parents, but is super smart and it's just like, do not enter. This is my room.
If you want to get a sense of the intent behind this writing, you can give me a blind perception check to sense motive.
Can I do that too?
Yes, anybody who wants to. Everybody can read this. This is in a known language to everybody. Okay, I've gotten perception checks from everyone. And you're all able to very easily tell from looking at this writing that this is not a "don't come in here, it's mine." This is a warning. This is a legitimate, "this is a bad room, don't go in here" warning. Like, it is written not with a sense of pride, but a sense of generosity, a sense of clarity of like, I hope everybody is able to read this and not disturb this door.
Well, shall we have the Grothlet open it up?
Just gonna say, Ao goes, "Hey, Nancy."
I see. The first one was Nathan. This one is Nancy.
Yeah.
What would what would devils be so afraid of they put a warning on the door?
Bigger devils?
What if it's something good?
Spiders?
Perhaps concealing the contents of the room is a part of their contracted mandate. And so any sort of deterrence worth erecting.
What's the enemy of a devil?
The enemy of a devil is a friend, right?
I mean, that's kind of what Trill's starting to wonder.
Okay, well, and there's 4 of us, and we're all enemies of the devil, and we're all friends, so it checks out.
Yeah,
What was
that
the
checks out.
original question?
You lost me there, Matt.
Arma, from your knowledge of devils, etc., what would you say an enemy of a devil is?
I
In lore.
genuinely don't know, I don't think. I mean, this could just be like they have a big monster behind there or like a big flesh warp thing.
Could be,
given
but
what we've seen.
also, didn't we find out that they seemed a little bit desperate to catch what's his face?
Carmen
sword.
Rajani.
Yes, Carmen Rajani.
Huh?
How long ago does it look like this warning was scratched into the door, Lars?
Within the last week, it looks like.
Should we just slide the viewing?
I was gonna say, could
Thing
Ao try
open
like a
and look
stealth
in?
check on the viewing window to do it very quietly, so that like whatever's in the room doesn't know that anyone's, unless they happen to be looking at it, right? But
Sure. Can I get a sense of where everybody is as Ao's doing this, please? Like, can you position your tokens near this door where you think everybody would be in this circumstance?
Like Trill's trying to like listen at the bottom of the door to see if she can hear anything that hints what's behind there.
Ao's done one better. She is standing 10 feet back or 20 feet back. She has sent Nancy up to the door, but she's using Mage Hand to slide the window.
Okay.
How's she gonna see through?
Oh, Nancy.
She'll have Nancy tell her.
Ao's Mage Hand slides this door open. Did we get your stealth check out in the open? Like, did we say what it was?
No, it's 20.
Okay. And there's a pretty faint creaking sound as that viewing hatch opens up. You hear a faint rustling sound, and the sound of something very large moving. And then suddenly, the door is kicked open, and you see a large, hulking, humanoid creature that has burst forward into this doorway, and it screams in Undercommon, "Nang, nang, bonobo!" as it sees the Grothlet standing right in front of the door. And any of you who speak Undercommon know that that means, "I'm tired of talking to more lackeys and underlings. Perhaps your death will send a message to Euravian that he is to deal with me himself." And this enormous 16-foot tall muscular creature, maybe 2,000 pounds, covered with scars and gashes. They have the feet of eagle talons, and they have paws on the end of their arms with razor-sharp claws. But each of their arms branches off at the elbow, so they have a total of 4 forearms.
Oh.
And they see the Grothlet. They turn their head back and forth, and suddenly their head cracks open and reveals this enormous vertical mouth covered with fangs and barbed teeth.
Stop it. You
and
with
I
the
need
bite
you
attacks.
to roll for initiative.
Someone's gonna die.
Roll for initiative.
How do we feel about AO rolling stealth since she's like further back the hole?
You are trying to be stealthy. You told me you were doing a stealth check to open a thing. That's stealth, baby.
Oh, well, that's an unfortunate roll, but...
Okay. Let's go around the circle. Robin, how did you do on initiative?
Trill is so tiny compared to this thing. She's so terrified. I got a 1 on the die for a 15.
Okay. Very slow. David, how did Mag do?
It's a 19 for Mag. Was maybe thinking there'd be something on the other end of the door, but was very much taken aback by this.
Zoe, how did you do and how did Nancy do?
I also got a 1 on the die for a 16. I guess AO thought this was a fail-safe mage hand plan, and Nancy did great. She was ready to go. She knew what was up. She got a 20 on the die, but she's Nancy, so that's only a 25.
Oh, that level 320 gets you a 25. Armet, how did Istan do?
Not great. He got a 4 on the die for a total of 14. So he was probably thinking about javelins.
Okay. So this large, aberrant creature again screams out, "Perhaps your death will send a message to Euravian that he is to deal with me himself." And they move nimbly, reaching out all 4 of their arms and attack Nancy the Grothlet, Mag, and Trill all at once.
Dang.
Let's get that Mag roll first. As these claws reach out, here's an attack towards Mag. 18 on the die. That is a 41 to hit.
Holy shnikes. Yeah. 41 will absolutely crit Mag.
Mag is going to take 38 points of damage as this creature slashes into her. Then another attack, an attack against the Grothlet at the same bonus. That is a 36 to hit the Grothlet. That is a critical hit, meaning that the Grothlet is going to take 40 points of damage as it is near death. And then another
Nancy.
swing at Trill. A 4 on the die. That one is a 27 to hit.
27 hits.
Meaning that Trill is going to take 19 points of damage. This creature then uses its last action to reach towards the Grothlet, extend 2 arms forward, just go, "Hurrah!" and attempt to rip the Grothlet in half. That is a 31 to hit. Another critical hit. Critical damage against the Grothlet. That is a total of 46 points of damage as the Grothlet starts going and explodes, showering everybody in its disgusting demise.
Including the aberration?
And we will pick up from there next time.
R.I.P. Nancy.
That thing just did 145 points of damage.
Oh no!
The Roots of Ruin is a Tabletop Gold production produced under the Paizo Incorporated Community Use Policy, using trademarks and copyrights owned by Paizo that are covered under that policy. Paizo does not recognize, endorse, or sponsor this project in any way, and we are expressly prohibited from charging you to use or access this content. For more information about Paizo Inc. and Paizo products, visit paizo.com. All original characters and content in The Roots of Ruin are the property of Tabletop Gold, and all rights are reserved. We at Tabletop Gold would love to hear from you. On our website, tabletopgold.com, you can learn more about us and our shows, pick up great merch, and connect to the best online community in all of podcasting. Thanks for listening.